We're all going through a strange time right now during this pandemic, but I think the important thing to do is to stay smart. Well, spring is here, and we can't go fishing. If you're a fisherman like me, we're dying to get out there to go fishing on the weekends. But you know the lakes are closed, the reservoirs are closed, parking is closed, beaches are closed. So we're doing what we can do, staying smart. But that being said, doesn't mean we can't do a little table talk. So I'm doing this video, so hopefully it brings you guys some kind of entertainment while you're at home in quarantine, as we should be. You know, doing smart, social distancing, staying away from each other. But yeah, so hopefully you guys like it. Now, as I mentioned, spring is here, and for those of you guys who follow the channel, know that Arnold and I are basically bank fishermen, and we're fishing from the bank. So, but that being said, spring is here. So we have the opportunity to catch some good-sized bass. And spring brings in some good-sized bass because they come up to spawn. Actually, Lalo just caught a good-sized bass a couple of weeks ago. Let's see if we have that footage.
What you got? What do you think it is?
I got black.
What is it?
It's a little bass, little bass. Take a look, guys. Oh yeah. Oh, dude, it's a good one. Oh, it's a monster dog. Look at this.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, come to Papa. Dude, it's a monster dog. Holy, this is my new TV, dog. My new TV, baby. Yeah, look at that monster.
What?
Holy
Holy.
Yeah, look at that hook set though. Damn.
Yo, let me see.
So we do it, boys. It's survival mode.
There's a good opportunity to catch some big bass from the bank. Now, obviously, if you're on a kayak or if you're on a boat, you have the advantage because you're able to cover different areas really quickly. Whereas for bank fishermen, we have to go to a certain location and we're possibly stopped. We'll walk the bank and then we're stopped either by nature, a tree there or something like that. So, but still, that being said, you have the opportunity to catch some good-sized bass. So in today's video, I wanted to do my favorite setup for bass. Not necessarily just in the spring, but also in the summer. Particularly in the summer, it's really well, but also in the winter. And so I'm also going to be showing you some uncut footage that didn't make the channel of me using the same setup catching bass. So, alright, let's get to it. The Texas rig. The Texas rig. A lot of people will call it differently. You'll hear something like punching weeds, punching lily pads in the face. Basically what we have here is a worm hook offset and a bullet weight. Different people use different size bullet weights, quarter ounce, 3/8, and people also some people will go with the tungsten weight, a little bit more high class. But if you're cheap with me, if you're cheap like me, you just need a standard bullet weight and a Gamakatsu worm hook offset. So the two main reasons why I like this rig a lot. Number one is you can make a lot of baits weedless. Now whether you're fishing from the bank, whether you're kayak fishing, whether you're on a boat, you're going to come into areas where you can't use a treble hook, you can't throw in certain baits because lily pads, for example, unless you want to fish next to logs, sticks, stuff like that. And there's probably a possibility that there's some good sized bass under there, particularly in the summer. So what happens in the summer is it gets really hot, and the fish are going to hide under something, and that's where they'll go to the logs. They'll go to those areas where you can't really throw a certain bait to attract them, and this comes into play where it's weedless. Another reason why I like this setup is because you can add multiple baits, multiple creature baits, worms, etc. And so that's really good. You can change the bait out, different colors, different styles, and you can still have that same thing where it's weedless and be able to have, you kind of play around with different creature baits, which is fun. You can also use different worms, different color worms, different lengths of worms, so, and still be able to fish for good sized bass. Now I don't want to get this confused with the drop shot, which is or a Nico rig, which is essentially I like to think of it like the Texas rig's cousin. They're still able to use a worm. Drop shot is a different setup, but they also make some hooks for drop shot or a Nico rig where you can have it weedless. But it's a totally different thing, so I don't want to confuse it with a Texas rig. So how do you fish this? Slowly. So very slowly. So for people who don't have any patience and just want to cast and keep casting, this could be a little bit difficult to learn at first, but once you get a hang of it, it's really fun to be able to catch the fish, bring them in, and it just becomes really fun. And you can catch really big fish with this because you're able to go to those spots where fish are hiding, whether they're hiding away or they're just tucked down, like I said, in the summer. So let's go to the water, and I'm going to demonstrate what it looks like. Remember, we're still in quarantine. So I'll be using this tub here. Instead of being able to show you out there in the water, I'm going to show you how the creature bait moves in the water. And I'm going to be using my hand as a pull. Now, in just a second, I'm going to show you a clip of me actually using this in the water, where you can actually notice how I use the pull and how I'm actually retrieving this bait. So as you can see, the creature bait tends to just fall forward, and the weight, you can actually play around with it. So as I'm reeling it in, you'll see how the creature bait moves. Now obviously different creature baits are going to work a bit differently, but as all I'm doing really is just tugging on this thing. Alright, let's try a worm. So same thing, just going to throw it in, and you'll see kind of the same situation with the worm. We're just basically doing different movements here, tugging on the pole. I'm trying to just attract the fish to bite it. Now while you're dragging it on the floor, you're able to possibly put the lure in front of the fish's face, and hopefully he gets irritated enough where he just swallows it. Now let me throw a stick in just for fun. See if this sinks. The thing too about this bait is you're able to use different creature baits, but it becomes a big role because you can change the colors out really quickly, and also the color of the lure or the color of the creature bait also could determine the water. So that's another key tip. You want to focus on the water and what we're fishing for, and if the fish can see it. Greener, more clear water, you want the natural color, the natural worm looking like this one here. But also, if it's really muddy water, you want to do a black or blue. So those definitely are key tips. All right, so here's a clip of me actually throwing it in the water. Now I want you to pay attention to my pole. You're going to see how I'm reeling it in, how I'm using it, kind of the same situation as I'm doing here. I'm just popping it up and reeling it in, presenting the lure in front of the fish's face. But on the second one, I want you to pay really close attention to my line. And you'll see the fish actually take my line, and I hesitated to catch him. But as I'm reeling it in, it gets closer to the bank, and that's where he takes it again. You'll see the line, and you'll see my string move, and that's when you know you got to land him.
Got him. Got him. Got him. Got him. Yeah. There he is. Yeah.
Alright, pretty cool. So let's go on a boat and use this same exact setup. I went to Rio Vista with my cousin Tony, fishing out there for striper. We didn't catch striper that day, but I was able to land 2 bass using this same exact setup.
There you go. First one of the day.
Broke the ice.
Broke the ice. Alright, let's keep it going. Got him. It's not too bad. It's not too bad.
Oh, it's the same size as the
Same
other one.
size.
It's the same one.
Yeah. Fish number 2. It's the same size though. Bigger profile, huh? Yeah.
So if you're liking the video so far, consider subscribing and also follow me on Instagram at Break Time Activities for pictures and also little mini clips that don't make the channel. Alright, that was fun. Alright, that was fun. Here's another clip, older clip of me using the same rig with a different creature bait, fishing from the bank, catching a fish. Let's check it out.
There he is. Gotta get him. I seen him. It looked like a pretty big one too. Oh, come on. Almost. Yeah, there it is. There it is. Yes. There it is. Ooh. There it is. There it is. Right there. Nice little fish right there. Alright, let's throw it back in. There you go, dude. There you go.
Alright guys, well, that's it. Thanks for watching. Hopefully this gives you guys some kind of insight on the Texas rig, and it's a really good setup to throw. And trust me, there's a lot of other different lures that you can use, but this was one of my favorites. If you like the video, let me know if you want to see another just talk about. I hope you enjoyed this table talk. Let me know if you liked the video. Give me a thumbs up button. You should consider subscribing because he says so. And also, stay safe, stay healthy, stay home, and we'll get through this. I'll be trying to post more videos here shortly. So, again, stay safe, stay healthy, stay home. We'll see you on the next one. We'll get through this. Okay, later.